Okay, good evening, everyone. Fantastic to see you all again. I think we've got roughly 30 people competing this evening, including three new countries represented tonight, which is always fun. So I think we've got Iceland represented for the first time, and Latvia, and hopefully Switzerland, although I don't see Anami yet. So hopefully she'll make her way here in the next few minutes. Yes, welcome to you. Welcome Amelia. Thanks for joining us again. Fantastic
Thank
to
you,
have you
thank you.
back.
Happy to be here.
Yep. So we'll be chatting through the competition and okay, smell that. Yeah, chatting through the competition and a bit more about the recent competitions and today's topic as well. Okay, just a
Du
couple of
min
people to
telefon.
mute. Okay, before we get started, we'll do for new people. We always do um, Wheel of Fortune. So lucky winner gets an extra puzzle. One of the competitors in Sweden. So today it is Maria. Maria, congratulations, Maria. I shall be in contact about that. Okay. I'll do the short introduction in English. Please, if there's any of the Swedish competitors who have any questions who want to do those in Swedish, just raise your hand or pop them in the chat, and I'll address those in Swedish. But it's an international competition tonight, so we'll stick to English for the most part. So it looks like everyone has logged into the timer website. So the timer will start counting as soon as the competition starts, and then as soon as you're done, just click the done or klar button, and the time will be recorded automatically. Okay. Very quickly, any questions before we begin? It looks like I can see all the cameras. Just check that list yet. I think only Anime is the one person we don't have. But it is 6:59, so you can go ahead and open the boxes and see what we have tonight.
The most exciting part of the day.
Yeah, I think I always ask you if you want to know in advance, and you never do. It's always it's good to get, like you say, a pure reaction to what we've got.
Ooh.
So you can go ahead and take off the plastic wrap, and just make sure the top comes off nice and easily, and then just pop the box back in the middle of the table. And I will get my timers. Looks like Maria TB. Yep, there's the box. Okay, so everyone's ready. So we'll do countdown and start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Puzzle.
Amazing. Okay, now you gotta tell me what is actually that. It looks like I want to say bluebird, but I'm not sure.
So it is Pieces and Peace. So very similar box. So I'll hold it up for you. So it is Bordeaux. So it's a scene from Bordeaux in France. It's called the Place de la Bourse. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, so it's so yeah, lots of nice areas. So yeah, really colourful sky, some nice kind of water, a couple of different gradients to kind of get stuck into. Some more tricky bits, maybe some kind of repetition on the buildings with two similar buildings on the left and right, and lots of those little windows, and then some flowers and people to get stuck in for some more for some details as well.
Trying to kind of like there's so many places you could start with. Of course, the colors are quite popping in a way
Hmm.
that you most likely want to start with something um colorful. I'm wondering how many pieces is that orange part of the sky because I feel like that's actually the most repetition there is in terms of piece count, but it also depends on the cut.
Yeah, so I think that there's kind of three brands. There's Pieces and Piece, Bluebird, and Hachette, which all come from the same factory, and they're slightly
Mhm.
different, but quite a similar cut. Um, they don't tend to really have false fits. You might have a couple, but they're pretty good in that respect. And yeah, I think the sky was the bit that kind of jumped out to me. I think I said to you that yeah, yellow and orange are quite often the colours that jump out to me, and I know you warned me that yellow can be a trap at times, so it's something to be a bit wary of.
Yeah, and I was almost looking at that middle part. Is it like a that it's also I'm trying to understand, is that like a I would say it's like an ice skating ring, but it's a summer picture, so I'm very confused now. Because it's reflecting the same colors from the sky.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure if it quite sure if it's yeah water or yeah, but as you say, it's a summer picture, so I think I thought the same with you initially. It was ice, but yeah, it's yeah
It
water
has
or fountain or
interesting small details because also if you look at the infamous ice skating ring, because that's now what it is for me, behind that is a road. It looks like it's just a regular road, but it looks like there is like a tram or like almost like a metro
yes, yeah. So
coming
there's
from there. So I'm like, wait a second, what's happening here?
yeah. So I don't know the place. Unfortunately, Cameron, who could have told us, he lives in Bordeaux. He wasn't able to make it. He had a excuse that he had to catch a flight. So we've got a substitute from the Canadian team tonight. But yeah, I think yeah, it looks like it's yeah, it's a nice picture and it's kind of nicely divided. And like I say, a bit of everything, some gradients, some details, and yeah, a few flowers at the bottom, and then maybe some pick and place with the people in the middle for Tobias and the other fans of those kind of images.
Yeah, there's so much to do. I think this, but this is interesting because to me this looks almost like famous last words, extremely easy puzzle. But you said that this is more on the tricky side.
Well, that's quite interesting because it was quite a long time I did it, and when you asked about it, I went back and checked my time, and yeah, it was about 59 minutes. And initially, I thought I was quite kind of surprised. It doesn't look like the kind of puzzle that would normally take that long, but yeah, I had a quick look at on my speed puzzling, and there weren't many times, but the times that were kind of yeah kind of in line with that. So I think it's probably a bit more tricky than it looks. I seem to remember the kind of center section, the kind of sandy colours, and
Mhm.
there's quite a lot of yeah those kind of colours are quite. It's not particularly easy to kind of see where some of those pieces go.
Yeah, and I think actually, yeah, now that you mentioned that, I'm looking that. this again. I think what gives the impression like, oh, there's so many details, like, or is the amount of like those little people in it,
Yeah,
but you don't actually recognize them. So basically, just those like that sandy color and a person in it, but it's actually not that easy to see where it goes. And if you have a lot of those pieces, it's not that straightforward.
yeah, and then I think the buildings as well. They're pretty once you've I think the roofs are okay, but then the sections with the windows and the doors are pretty much identical on both sides. So yeah, there's a bit of work there to do to kind of separate the
Yeah, and
two
sometimes
buildings.
when you sometimes have those kind of like a lines, for example, of the blue roof, you could think like, oh, that's just an easy, you just do the line. But it really depends on the cut as well. So it really depends if the cut goes literally on the middle of it or is it like a two rows of pieces. So things like that can also kind of like impact quite a lot. Also the fence between the people side and the water, if that actually happens to fall into two rows of pieces instead of one, then that can be actually also very tricky. But I haven't done this, so I will only figure out later.
What do you think? What would be your kind of initial feeling for where you would start?
I mean, yeah, I'm so bad at this because I no longer had this immediate reaction. But what was more, I would probably do the blue roofs
Hmm.
and the middle part. The moon that it's in the sky, but not necessarily the whole sky, except maybe the pink part. Really depends if it has a little color difference in there. And most likely the middle part as well and the boats. And then I would just probably start working on more brighter colors and the corner plants in the corners, like flowers and stuff.
Yeah, that
Maybe?
definitely sounds like a plan. Yeah. Okay,
I don't
let's
know
take.
one, but it's a plan.
I'm pretty sure that it was the scar. I'm pretty sure, even though what I said about orange being a trap or yellow being a trap, I'm pretty sure I started with the sky. I think yeah, the moon's fairly easy to pick out, and then you can build the rest of the sky kind of out from there. And I can't remember too. Say I don't think there were many false fits around the sky, and I can see yeah on screen we've got Amelia and Christina, so who have got that kind of that sky edge together. So it doesn't look like there's a big problem with kind of getting those pieces together, even though they're pretty much solid color.
Yeah, and I would actually do with this one edge first, but that's just personally for me and only for the reason that I really struggle with the dimensions. Like if you give me something else than horizontal puzzle, I will be a little bit lost, so I would just do it for that purpose, not necessarily because it's the best way somebody better than me would do it, but for me just to compensate my flaws.
Yeah, and it looks like all three here, Camilla, Christina, and Amelia, all starting with the edge. Amelia with most of that done, and we know how much Amelia loves portrait puzzles, so she'll be very happy to see this.
Yeah, I heard that people who have really like tried to memorize the cut, one thing that I never do or recommend people to spend time on, say that they really struggle with the vertical because it goes almost like against their intuition
Hmm.
cut-wise, which is interesting and kind of actually makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cool. Okay, right. Let's bring up the next set of people.
Oh, by the way, is this the brand where the picture on the box, the wait a second, the right side of it is not actually cut correctly, like it doesn't exactly match the puzzle image.
Ooh, I can't remember. I know what you mean now. Now I can't. I'm gonna have to look at someone's.
Because I know it's a blue box brand that has that thing, but I can't say if it's this one or um I think it's this one though.
It may, yeah, it may be. It may be.
I'm
Um,
actually not going to look because I do have the
I just,
box here.
just looking at that pink flower in the right bottom right. It does. It looks pretty much. Looks pretty much correct. Yeah, but I know those can be a bit off-putting. Yeah, so more frames going together. We've got Freya there. Yeah, similar strategy to Amelia with the frame done, and now that pink section of the sky going together. Frida, yeah, very similar strategy. Graham from Puzzle Guzzle in the chat saying that yeah he thinks that they can be cropped a bit. The crop can be a bit off compared to the buildings. And yeah, so
I can see
compared to the
I can
crop,
see
sorry.
where it's incorrectly. I can see if you look at the bottom row, at least I can see it's not exactly matching. The white flower
Yes,
over there is a little bit it should have a little bit under it.
yeah, I think you're right. Yes, yeah, yeah.
It's
And
it's not comfortable.
Graham saying he's feeling he'd be a bit intimidated by those buildings, and yeah, those buildings certainly were a bit yeah a bit tricky.
Yeah, that's a good comment. It's always interesting now, like when people kind of like flip their pieces, and now, for example, on the screen, like you can see like what type of pieces there is the most. It's much easier to see it this way than rather than just looking at the image in the box. So
Yeah,
we can see
absolutely.
like yeah, like blue things. We can see there is the definitely I can see some pink. That's mentioned. You can see quite a lot of those sandy pieces.
Mhm.
I'm still going with that the blue roof is quite easy because even I can see those pieces quite easily from the mix. And obviously I'm looking from a two camera angle. So
Yeah, we can see Freya has got a lot of those kind of reef sections together, and one of the boats as well. Um, yeah, and in fact, yeah, the blue watery pieces really stand out. Uh, yeah, looking down on the pile of pieces there as well. Okay.
yeah, this almost feels like that you just need to focus more on smaller details, but also not too small. So as you said, like for example, the roofs, the boats, like a decent sized smaller details.
Yeah, and yeah, I think a couple more takers for your roof idea there, both Ida and Hrevna. Hope my Icelandic pronunciation of Icelandic names isn't too bad. Yeah, so yeah, a couple more roofs going together. Then Hanno, yeah, with that top right hand section, the kind of moon pretty much done. And yeah, again, sorting out those roof pieces. So yeah, I think you're right. That's those are probably some of the easiest pieces to pull out.
It's always good to see I'm not completely wrong, or otherwise we're all, which is also a possibility. But yeah, as a person who haven't puzzled for a while, I'm always wondering like, am I getting rusty, or is kind of like the analyzing skill still there? Of course, depends a lot on a puzzle, but yeah, I
And
like.
have you noticed anything in terms of having not done so many for a while? Do you have you noticed any kind of a difference in your approach when you do puzzle, or does it kind of all feel natural again?
Well, I haven't lost my speed, which is good. I feel almost like, and Sarah Schuler is the original person saying this, but at least in a competitions, I almost feel like I have that like a hunger to do the puzzle. So it's not like, oh, I've been doing the whole week puzzles all these months. You kind of like really have like this fresh going into it. I don't think it has changed my approach necessarily, but I'm definitely more calm and more like, I don't know how to explain the freshness of going into it. It just feels a little bit different, I would say.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, and I think that was something maybe we'll talk about a bit more about today about having a break from speed puzzling, what that feels like to start again, and the idea of off seasons and things. So yeah, I think it's very interesting that how kind of a time away or time doing something different for a while kind of changes that feeling when you do compete.
Yeah, and you really start recognizing whether you have that spark to do puzzles or not. Like if you have almost like this, even for if you still, most of us still feel like doing puzzles, I'm the exception to that. But if you even keep like kind of force yourself to have 1 week of a break, do you feel more like stressed out, like okay, now I'm not practicing enough, or do you actually have like this like spark, like oh, I just really want to do a puzzle for fun? Because I'm starting to have a little bit of that. I have actually one puzzle on my, I haven't started it, but I have one puzzle in my house right now that I will most likely do, and I'm almost having this little tingling like I do want a puzzle. I think you when we were in Denmark, you also got me the final puzzle, so that is also something that I want to do eventually. And then I got another puzzle from the Belgium Championship, the one that was used in Team's first classification round, with the batchers on it. So yeah, I got the tingling to actually get those puzzles. Now I'm just waiting for the full spark to do them.
Yeah, and I think being able to even to step back from speed puzzling and do something do the more casual puzzling and just do it for to you don't have to step away from it completely. There's another option there to keep enjoying it and but just to change it up a bit and do something different for a while before you maybe jump back into the speed puzzling.
Yeah, and I said it's I feel like it's almost like a good reality check. Am I still enjoying this, or am I just stressing out that I will like fall behind? Because that's what we also do in other sports. When it seems like somebody might be losing the fun of it, we kind of like put them on a mandatory break to see kind of like, are their motivations still the same as originally? You probably started this because it was fun, hopefully.
Mhm. Yeah, and I guess with your background in competitive sport, there's you've got kind of a lot of experience and a lot of ideas in terms of how that might relate just as much to speed puzzling.
Yeah, definitely. And I love it when there's always, by the way, two people doing the puzzle in the same place.
I think it may even be three. I think if we on a later picture we're going to see the Linköping gang are normally together. Uh, Karin's interesting. So this is the first person we've seen not really with any of the frame, but working on that kind of water section. But yeah, coming together really well. That kind of the two boats in fact joined together and working through that water section.
Yeah, I paid attention to the same, and I kind of like what I'm seeing.
And then yeah, Carolina with that border pretty much done. And some of those kind of centre sections, yeah, one of the boats you can see, and I think some of the moon, and then yeah, Cotter also working on the moon and that top right section, and yeah, someone else with those blue, looks like did the blue roofs done first.
And good progress so far.
Mm.
I don't think this is a puzzle that slows down towards the end, but I might be wrong as well. I just feels like this is kind of like an equal speed from beginning to end.
Yeah,
More.
I think so too. Maybe not the quickest, but one that yeah, it's possible to kind of keep going at a pretty steady speed with, as you say. Yeah, there we go. There's the full table. So we got three people doing tonight's puzzle, and then one doing the one from the last competition alongside. So yeah, always good to get a group together.
I love the organized way I am seeing there with the sky finished and everything.
Yeah, so here we have Alina Beata on Puzzle Rush for the first time. Another person who's great to meet at the Swedish Championships, did really well, fourth place I believe in the Swedish Championships, amazing time. And yeah, so yeah, picked out the we've got the sky done, and in fact the kind of reflection of the sky as well. So all of those kind of orange and pinky sections done.
Yeah, I really went kind of like by color, and you can also see now the first flowers that she finished are also the ones that are orange and pink. So she probably just literally collected all of that, which makes sense. I have to mention here because I've done this mistake a couple of times, but when we have uh, super fast speed puzzlers like her, she can actually almost do like even the hardest parts first and do them extremely fast. And I've done this mistake once that I was looking at um, Inge, who was next to me, and she did a similar sky like that. And I automatically thought in my head that, oh, that must be easy then. And I couldn't get the sky together. Only afterwards to realize that 99% of people in that competition did the sky last for obvious reasons. um, so yeah, it's definitely a skill when you can do almost like anything, and you can just do it very speedy.
Yeah,
You can,
and now you can see with the pieces left, it's a really clear distinction between blue and those
yeah,
sandy coloured pieces and the green pieces.
yeah, and it looked like it's almost, it feels like a sped up video to me. It's insane. It just crazy how like how people really move that way that it's like my multiplier like maybe 2.5 would look like that.
Yeah, I've watched some of the US Championships at the weekend, and watching Connor is just yeah, he's just incredible. The way his hands move and the way he's able to place things so quickly is yeah, really quite amazing. Okay, here we have Elizabeth, who is the substitute for the Canadian team. Great you could join us. Yeah, working on that kind of top right pink section. And then yeah, Maria, the two Marias in fact, Maria Baker and Maria TB in a very similar position with those roofs done, the kind of moon section done, and yeah, in fact the same boat as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely the same one. How do you feel, Rob? Are you more like do you follow more like colors rather than the patterns or other visual clues?
I think I do. Yeah, so it's really only when all the pieces are flipped that I'll look at it, and generally there'll be a colour, normally normally
Mm.
yellow, that really jumps out, and quite often it's not necessarily what I thought it would be when I saw the image. Um, so unless it's like a very busy puzzle, cute kawaii chaos or something like that. Um, yeah, that where there's no sorting. Um, yeah, it's really I'll look at the pieces, and there'll be something that jumps out. I've noticed that quite often it's whatever's lightest. So whatever the lightest colour is in the pile is generally what will jump out at me.
Yeah, sounds sounds good. I have a pro tip for this one because there is people who are very strong like working with colors, which is obviously a strength. But then there comes the downside that they may struggle more with like darker colors or like washed out colors, and stuff like that. And it's mainly because if you have such a strong skill of working with colors, that's obviously how your brain is also wired. It will always look first the color. Um, so what I recommend everybody to try, no matter how well you are working with colors, is to do at least one black and white puzzle. Because people are usually like their first reaction is no, I don't want to do a black and white puzzle. But awfully, when you do one, you may realize that it's not actually at all harder than others. It's just that you will have to do a few, and your brain starts to pay much more attention on the patterns and other visual clues rather than color. Um, and that may then help you later when you're working with more normal puzzles to also work with the darker and wider pieces, because your brain has learned that it can also look at other things than just the color first.
Oh, that's a really interesting tip, and I think it plays into that idea that we tend like for practicing things we tend to avoid the things that we maybe don't aren't naturally drawn to. So if we're drawn to really colourful stuff, then those kind of black and white ones are not going to be the things that we maybe choose to go to, but they're the things we really need to practice.
I see more boats. Oh, but there's the buildings almost done.
Yeah, Selma there with not just the roofs but virtually the entire buildings there, so looking really good. And now those two boats and looking to be looking at working on the kind of water section, but yeah, looking really good there. We have Sally with looks those boats in place, a lot of that kind of water section coming together, and then Michaela with most of the frame done, that kind of pink section and the moon. Um, and yeah, again from this angle, you really see the kind of the distribution of the kind of yellow and blue and the kind of sandy color pieces.
I can see that Cameron has entered the chat.
Okay, here we
An
go. Yeah,
excellent choice.
thinking. Yeah, he seems to manage to miss the ones that so he missed the Canadian Vancouver puzzle and instead missed the Bordeaux puzzle. So unfortunately, there's always something that keeps him away from the ones that have pictures that are of places he will know.
Yeah, but I want to know Cameron's opinion. Why on earth there is an ice skating ring in the middle of the summer, and why the road behind that looks like a normal walking or car road has magically a metro coming from the right side? Explanations needed?
Yeah,
Please do.
please, yeah, Cameron, please give us that information in the chat. He says he's still. I know he's recovering from a 24-hour marathon, but
No.
I'm sure he's got enough energy to give us a bit more information on the place that everyone's puzzling today.
How many minutes are we in? Did we did
We
we start
we're about 28 minutes in now.
28? Okay, perfect.
So give us some estimates in the chat. I know you asked me for my kind of estimate, and based on kind of my time and kind of previous times, I was thinking kind of 45-ish, 45 to 50. 'Cause it was a slightly tricky one, but yeah, let's see if anyone can do a lot better than that. Oh, Sixton
I
looking really good.
Yeah.
Um, Sixtons are one of our faces of the future. Did really really well in the Swedish Championships. It was great to see him there. But yeah, with all the sky done, the buildings, the let's call it an ice rink, and now working on the water. And Smilla looking really good as well. All those buildings
Yeah.
done. I know she likes the kind of the details.
Somebody's gonna do this under 40, I'm just telling you.
I think you might be right. What we just coming up to 30 minutes now. So yeah, 10 minutes left. And oh, here we go. So again, forgive my pronunciation, depending on what it's like. But Tepat from our first Latvian competitor. So fantastic to have you with us as well. Thank you. But yeah, looking really good. So yeah, all the buildings done, the boats, and I think now working on that bottom section.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where people finish this. But what I've seen so far, I think we're going to have very different looking finishes here today.
I think you're right. So let's let's see. You did a very good job last time. So can you give us your prediction for where Tobias is going to finish?
I mean, probably the sky, the orange part specifically. I said it before I saw that.
I think that was a pretty good prediction there. Yeah. But yeah, looking really good. So yeah, probably maybe the first person we've seen with those kind of park, left and right hand
And
park sections done, all the flowers.
yeah, and to be honest, kind of knowing also the way Tobias works with his space management. Usually, if you see those orange pieces, just a few of them collected, kind of like above the puzzle frame. That usually means that that's something he's gonna do last, even if it's not all of them. But that's usually an indicator that they are going to be work on last.
Yeah, okay. Cameron said that yeah he had a condition of giving the puzzle away for tonight that he gets to keep it afterwards. So yeah, he gets the Bordeaux puzzle to try later on. Yeah, and then Civ looking good. Yeah, the all of the frame done, the roofs again, the moon. So lots of those sections that we've seen people go for at the start. Okay, let's take a look at some of who might be the front runners. So Lena Beata looking really strong there. All of the water done, and really it's just those kind of sandy tan pieces uh, left to do. Amelia again with lots of those tan pieces, and then a few of the kind of yellowy sky bits to do.
Ooh, this is interesting.
But what are we on 32 minutes? So yeah, I think under 40 is the goal here. Let's take a look at very quickly. Yeah, so it seems to be yeah that centre section, and then the orangey sky sections that maybe we're going to see most people finishing with.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that Amelia and also other speed buses I've seen like put the box that way, that they're not putting it on the puzzle stand. I can't. So I have this situation Belgium Championship. They gave us the Ravensburger stands and I didn't have my own and it basically just kept falling. So I had to put my box that way and I was
Mm.
not happy with it. And it was so hard for me to get adjusted to it and look at it the right way. But once again, it's just like what you're adjusted to more than
Yeah,
anything.
I think we talked about it briefly, but I find a lot of the stands are kind of too vertical, and
Yeah.
it's I kind of like it how Amelia's got it where it's a bit more flat and it feels less like it's less effort to look at the image when it's like that.
I don't know. I think my problem with that is that like especially in a big competitions, I feel like they usually have the lights directly from the ceiling. So that causes kind of like this random light just going back and forth in the box, which doesn't happen if it's more vertical, but just my 2 cents.
No, that's definitely true. And the other thing is, yeah, it generally takes up more space, and when it's especially when it's shared tables, that space can be really at a premium. So I'd say at the moment,
It's hard to say because Amelia has kind of like 2 sections left, but she's way further on
yeah,
that sense.
she's got that
Then
path and the fence all done. And yeah, really those windows to get in. It's very hard to tell.
yeah, I think she could take this one home if she just Buza, calmness, focus, keeping up the speed. But so far it's going well. Every piece is going in pretty much. And even if it doesn't, it starts looking for its place. So yeah. Yeah, also interesting finish over there that I saw for a second, Smila. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the hands are really moving here fast.
They are. Yeah, Tobias and Amelia kind of similar finish, but Tobias maybe with a few more pieces to get in. Oh look, yeah, look how quickly those ones going for Amelia now. It's all going to be down to those that orange section at the top, whereas Lina Beata's got that kind of a yeah, not big spaces, lots of kind of smaller spaces throughout that kind of centre section.
It's
Probably.
it's uh it's hard to say because Emilia need to get more pieces in to have a little bit more benefit from the shape. She can definitely already use the shape, but I think if we look at the other one, well, yeah, there you can see more shape, but then on the other hand, you have a little bit of eeny, meeny, moe, does it go left or right or up or down? So this is gonna be very, what is happening here today? You can feel the pressure.
It is going to be really close. Very similar number of pieces left, but yeah, I mean, just coming to 37 minutes now, so yeah, really time's well under what I thought we would be seeing. I'm gonna have to try this one
Yeah.
again now and try and see why I found it so tough the first time.
Everybody watching now has the noradrenaline coming in, trying to find is that
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic, Emilia, well done, amazing work. 37 minutes and 16 seconds, fantastic.
I told you under 40.
You were right, but yeah, not going to be long now for the second place. Really
That's
close behind.
yeah, and also gonna be I would say under another under 40 easily.
Easily.
Just go. Both hands
Two
pulling
more
pieces.
pieces. Oh, fantastic work. Well done, Lena
Amazing.
Beata, 37.55. So what's that? 40 seconds between first and second place.
Yeah. Yeah, so close. So close. And now
Awesome.
we are just fighting for the third placement. I think there's going to be a little bit more difference between the second and third place, as far as I can see now. So, people who are listening to me, go for it because it's still yours.
Well,
Sometimes when you're in a competition, hear the applause, and then you just think like, "Oh, I'm way too far," but then you don't realize there's kind of like very long pause between the next minutes. So.
Freya looking really good, but I think she's paused. Her picture's just frozen at the moment. So yeah, but from I'm not sure how long ago that was frozen, but she's looking really good. And then yeah, Tobias and Smil are both looking good as well. Let's look around, see if anyone else is in contention. Hannah looking good. Sixton looking good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have quite a good race for the third placement as well.
I
What
think
I can
so.
see. Yeah, really just need to go for it.
Oh, Frey's finished 39.16.
Okay.
Frey, your camera's paused you're frozen at the moment, but yeah, brilliant. There we go. Third
Oh,
place finish. Fantastic work, Freya. Well done.
amazing.
Excellent work. Well done. Okay. And let's just so yeah, and then Tobias, Smilla, Hannah all looking good. Very similar and Hrevna also, in fact. Let's just bring that one up.
Yeah, the competition is getting quite
Oh,
quite intense also in yours.
yeah, Hrevna looking really good. Just a few pieces for that sky section. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of people from what we've seen so far with that orange sky with being the last bit to get in. But yeah, she looks good for fourth place.
Ooh,
Oh, it's Pierce also. Yeah, also just with that kind of yellow section done. What to do?
just put them in.
We'll watch a couple more finishes and then we'll have a chat to some of our top three.
Ta-da!
Brilliant work, well done, fantastic, Revna.
Amazing.
41 or just over 40. Yeah, some really good times. I was well out with my predictions today.
Yeah, and it's
Cool.
like I think we're gonna have a wave of people finishing very soon.
Yeah, I think we are. So yeah, we've got Tobias, Miller, Hannah. See a couple of other people. Yeah, not far behind as well. Can see some people with that whole sky down, the orange sky. But I think yeah, lots of people finishing with that orange sky section. Cool. Well, maybe Amelia, if you're around, it'd be great to say hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That was an
Great.
amazing time.
Oh, I'm exhausted and shaking.
And yeah, I'll start off by apologising for another portrait image. I know they're not your favourite, but yeah.
But it turned out fine, and I think it's the first one I've ever won, so
Oh yes, yeah. I think we had that conversation that you'd always
maybe
been the
this is the
landscape
turning
ones before.
point.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Only
How
victories after this. No, just
how did you find it? What was your initial thoughts when you saw the image?
I was I really liked it when I opened the box, and yeah, as you said, colorful. Um, yeah, but it felt kind of smoothly. I always had something to work on. I began with the pink, and then it was the blue that stood out the most, like the roofs, and then the water. Um, yeah, and then I just tried to focus on focus on another section when I was done with most of the blue, and then try to keep up the speedy hands. But the picture is really nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Were there any sections that what was the kind of most challenging section? Did you feel?
Um, my initial thought was that the beige was going to be the hardest because, yeah, but then it wasn't. It was the orange, I think. But I kind of regret that I didn't do it sooner and finished with the beige, but maybe it was better the other way around. But yeah, beige and orange for sure.
Yeah, I think we
yeah.
saw at the end. Not sure if it's a benefit, but you had kind of all your pieces were to get together in one section in that orange section, whereas I think with the beige they were kind of a bit more spread out. So yeah, not sure if that's an advantage or a disadvantage, but it seemed to go very quickly at the end.
it was some gradient in the orange also, like some orange yellowish. So you could see it even if it were a bit shiny with the light, but it's manageable.
I really like your approach with this one because it was kind of like what I predicted it'd be. How do you actually like this puzzle print?
I start to really like the pieces, and I think that this piece cut is really nice to do vertical. Like if you would have done it horizontal, the pieces would have been more long. But
Yeah.
I think Ravensburger is made for doing it horizontally.
Yeah.
That's why I have an issue with especially vertical Ravensburger. But this one, which puzzle was it we did? We had one pieces and piece puzzle before, right? Because
I don't think we've
maybe
had one yet. We had a bluebird and a hachette as well, which
but maybe one of the unbox that I had was
yes,
this
yeah,
piece.
it was.
So
Yes, it was.
I
Yeah,
recognized it a bit. But yeah, as I said, or what was your question again?
Did somebody ask a question? I don't remember.
You did ask a question.
I think it was about the brand and whether you enjoyed the brand if you'd done them before.
Yeah. I like the pieces also. They're not like sticking onto your hand or anything. Yeah.
And no, you didn't have any issues with false fits and things with in the.
There was maybe one or two pieces I was unsure about, but other than that, no. But I did also look more at the colors than the pieces in this one. So it was one piece in the sky that I was like, does this really fit here? Because it was only orange, but then it was that piece. So it turned out fine.
Yeah, I have another question related to our topic that we haven't talked too much yet today, but when is your off season? Obviously, now you just became second in the Swedish Championship, and I would assume that you're now practicing for the Worlds and the other Worlds, so.
That's a good question. I don't think I will have an off season until after Worlds in September.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected your answer to be, and that's actually, I would say, most people have their off season if they have one over there.
But I did the Karen puzzles. That maybe as soon as I got home, I did a 3,000 piece that I chose as a reward.
Oh, of course,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it a lot. Like every piece I put in, I was so happy. And now I'm like, I should have a higher, like a larger amount of pieces aside, so I can have that on my desk, and then I can build 500 piece or 1,000 piece on this table.
Yeah.
So I will have that as a project to also relax, and then also have speedy sessions aside.
Yeah, that makes sense. I remember we had this, I think this was one of the nights that we were talking until 1 a.m. or something. And we were talking about how people also don't understand that even if you're practicing and you're very competitive, it's almost even more important to also do the casual puzzling and relaxed as well. So
yeah, and I also kind of forgot it myself, and that's why I come to the conclusion that it's really important, because you forget it when you're just speeding all the time. And now I will make sure that I do more casual puzzling.
yeah, and I feel like it also creates kind of a contrast for your brain as well, where you there is like a clear split between this is casual puzzling and this is speed puzzling, because I feel like the biggest reason why people hit plateau is that they just do the speed and their brain actually just adjusts to that speed because they're not doing kind of like anything else.
Yeah, that could be a reason.
Rob has any opinions?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year, just like last year, once the Swedish Championships was out of the way, I kind of found myself falling back into more casual puzzling and realizing how much I kind of missed it after just doing, yeah, really just kind of speed puzzling since the new year and trying to kind of yeah, trying to work on some skills and getting some tips and trying to change things. But it was yeah, it was nice to kind of get some casual puzzling in again. And I think maybe like you said, it doesn't feel like, I think there's space to do that without affecting times too much. So I think although it can be tempting to just do yeah, speed puzzle after speed puzzle after speed puzzle, I think it's kind of, yeah, it feels good to take that time out and do something a bit different, and then come back. I can't remember the word you used, fresh. Come back to it with that freshness and that kind of yeah, that kind of yeah, being ready to get back into the speed side of things.
Yeah, also like just the variation is so important, and that can easily be implemented by just doing casually and just for fun, and especially those bigger piece count puzzles. I actually have one escape puzzle. Have either one of you done ever an escape puzzle? I think it has some kind of like a mystery in it.
The Ravensburger ones.
I'm not sure. Might be. I got it from Catherine's event in Luxembourg last year, and I never have done it, but it's still in my storage, kind of like, do sell this one.
Sorry, just to interrupt you, Frida, can you hear me? Just to say,
Yeah.
I've recorded your time. Sorry, you took Marina's place, and I forgot to
Yes,
swap it
thank you.
over. That's why the timer wasn't on. But I've got your time, so
Ah,
I'll put it in afterwards. So
okay,
don't
great.
worry, it's all recorded.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Sorry, Amelia, interrupt you there.
No, just talking about my escape puzzle. I have no idea what it is, but apparently you can only do it once.
Yeah, so I've done one of those. So it was kind of, you did the puzzle, and then there were kind of there were codes to find, and there was various kind of numbers, and I think that the first one was, I think I'd enjoy the second one more. I think the first one I didn't really, there wasn't a very good explanation of what you were meant to do. So I found a few of it, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. But I think if I did another one, it'd be more enjoyable.
I see. So it's one of those puzzles which is like, oh, you think you're good at puzzles? Well, do this one, and then let's see how smart you really are.
Yeah, the puzzle was a bit of it, but then and also the image is different from the image is not the same on the box as it is on the puzzle either. So they've moved things around, and there's yeah, different characters and things.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, we had a lot of finishers. Tobias, Miller, Hannah, Ida, Sixten, Selma all finish, and Frida as well. So yeah, we've had 11 finishes now, under 52 minutes. Really good. And so Amelia, have you got anything between now and, is it Nordic the next competition, or have you got anything in between?
World Series? No? Yes?
Oh yes, that's yeah, it's not too far away now. That always felt such a long way away, and now it's yeah, now it's not too far away at all. How are you feeling about that one?
Excited, of course, and I have a few of our unboxed puzzle left, and I feel like I don't want them to end, so I'm like spreading them out as much as I can. So I think it's
Yeah.
so fun with the unboxed.
No,
And
no,
we will
no.
have a competition also, so that's good.
Yeah, me too. I've been holding off doing those, and then yeah, the last couple of days I've just done a couple. So yeah, they're just so much fun. That one I did this morning, that was the Taj Mahal, was just, yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
So you did it this morning.
Yes, yeah,
I was like, did he do it now or?
yeah. No, it was I yeah had a bit of spare time. So yeah, it's and yeah, really enjoyed that one. Um, yeah, so not too many left now, so need to save a couple more for nearer the time to for some practice. I can't remember if
But
we've
you're going to Finland also, so maybe Emilia can fix some unboxed puzzles for you.
I can fix whatever.
That's true, yeah. That's 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. So
Oh,
yeah, really looking forward to that. My first time in Finland.
all this time you've been living just next to us and never
I
been here?
know, I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
Wow.
Haven't even been on the famous cruises, 24-hour cruises.
What a disappointment.
Yeah, and so I can't remember if we talked. So the World Series, is there anything that, obviously the mystery is fun to train for? Is there any of the other rounds that you feel you really need to train more for?
Yes, the circular and the panorama, and I'm working on the detail skills also, and I feel like I've already seen improvements. And just with this puzzle we did today, I feel like I can look at the box at 1, 2, 3 times, not be like stressed out, and then find a spot for it. But yeah, I think the circular will be my weakest competition. I've done one Gibson circle now, and I don't know how it will end.
No, I feel the same. Yeah, I've got a couple waiting to do, but yeah, I haven't done many circle puzzles at all, and no Gibsons yet. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a challenge.
And then the panorama one, I feel it's difficult to know what time to aim for. Like it's not only panorama, it's also 136 more pieces. So, and do we have more time for that, or the 75 also?
There is more time. It's 90 minutes, but I think that round is actually gonna change the final placements completely, because it's not about your placement on any of those rounds. It's about your total time. So you should really practice for the one. Yes, I know, because I just had a speed up session about this, and I had to remind people to practice the one where you can actually cut off the most time. Because if you're just practicing something that you can do in 45 minutes, but your placement would be usually worse, it doesn't help you if you can cut off like 2 minutes and your placement will be much more fabulous. But it's about your total time. So I would focus on the ones that actually take the most time, where the most time differences will be as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And I think I haven't tried again. I've got a couple to try. It'd be interesting to see kind of with space management. Obviously, after I spoke to you, Amelia, I'm very used now to having the pieces on the left and the image on the right. But it feels like for those, it's going to be top and bottom. So, is it better to have the pieces close to you and the image above, or the pieces above were a bit further away and the picture close to you?
If that's a question, I had an analysis on this on my speed up session just last weekend, and my short answer would be depends. But if you want like my strict answer for those who I know are very optimized and follow what I tell them, there shouldn't be a problem with your space management. But that said, really depends on how you're doing it right now.
So the panorama contest, is it the last?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the last one.
But yeah, I've also put in a tape on my board now, so I can practice the space management, especially with the Gibsons, both the circular and the panorama, because it was hard when you did the frame and then the pieces were like moving more and more to the left.
Yeah.
And the frame never ended.
Exactly. Rob has any further questions?
I don't think so. I think we can let you go. But amazing time, 37:16. There's such yeah. I think you beat my predicted time by a long way. So yeah, really fantastic. Well done.
Thank you very much. Always nice talking to you also.
Ciao.
Great.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too.
Okay. Seeing lots of people coming up to the finish now. Got Freya, Maria, TB, Tepat, Maria Baker, all with just a few pieces left to go. Karen as well. So yeah, a little flurry of finishes around, what are we, about just over the hour. Excellent work, Maria, well done. And Freya just a couple of seconds after.
Yeah, and we still have 1 hour to go, right?
We do.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get everyone complete. Yeah, so Tepat and Maria very close. Yeah, other people just coming up behind as well. Okay, I don't think Lena Beata is still on the call. No. But Freya, if you're there, it'd be lovely to have a chat. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Congratulations, under 40 minutes, 39:16. Fantastic
Yeah,
time.
thank you. It was a fun puzzle.
Yeah, did you enjoy it? Was it your kind of thing?
Yeah, I think I used this exact same approach as Emilia. You always had something to do, but I got a little bit more stuck on the beige part. But I like the piece cut is very thoughtful. So like they have small details on the previous section, so you could like sort the pieces just like looking at the little knob and know that would be, so you could like work in layers.
Is it a brand have you done them before?
Yes, I've done them, a few of them before.
They all feel like they work the same way, that they have a lot of like this layering
Yeah.
the tactic that you can do it. Is that something you prefer in a puzzle image?
I think it's easier to not get stuck when it's like that. But I also think that this brand it has quite many false fits, so it's kind of hard when you put pieces wrong because then they get stuck and it's very hard to lift them up again. So you have to be a little bit careful if you're actually putting it in the right piece. And I also believe this brand is usually very, like the images is not so sharp, so it's always kind of blurry. So it's not so, yeah, the lines are smooth.
Yeah, I did notice that. I had a quick look at the in the pieces earlier, and it was it's I hadn't remembered that from when I did it, but yeah, I know what you mean in terms of the kind of sharpness and the kind of it's almost got that custom printed kind of quality to the print as well, kind of quite
Yeah.
dotty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but really good time. So I guess kind of on tonight's topic, do you find much time for casual puzzling at the moment, or are you very much focused on the speed side of things?
No, mostly speed, but I usually have like 1,000 piece I have 1,000 piece at work, so I have a pretty big office. So I have like my desk, and next to my desk I have a puzzle table where I always have 1,000 piece. And now since it's Easter week, I have some more time for puzzling at work as well. And then I usually have 1,000 piece at home as well for relax purpose.
I think you're definitely making people jealous. And now going tomorrow to their boss, like, what's up with my office? Where's the puzzle table? But that sounds
Absolutely.
pretty good. And it's really good if you have in your house like 2 tables or 2 places where you can do puzzles. So then you can always have that like a bigger puzzle on the side.
Yeah, and I actually bought like this kind of foam board that
Mhm.
fits like 1,000 pieces, so I can move it around. So I can sit at the table, I can sit at the couch in front of the TV. So it's very good. So I can use it for different purposes.
Yeah, that sounds nice. We had at one point the moment like you couldn't eat in our kitchen table because there was also always a puzzle there.
Yeah, I've done that before, and when I was studying, I used to do 3,000 pieces on the floor. But now I've just moved, so I got myself a puzzle room, and I'm planning to have like a big board so I can have more piece counts as well.
Oh, amazing. How big do you think? What's the biggest piece count you think you'll be able to get in there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have like a guest bed, so I'm planning. It's like with kind of edges, so I'm planning to buy like in the hardware store, a wooden plate. But I don't know if I can fit like if it's 5 or 7 or 9,000 pieces. I don't know how big those are, the biggest ones.
Yeah, it's not that easy to estimate. I just know my table is small, but especially with Ravensburger, yeah, if the pieces, well, not the new quality, the older quality where pieces actually stick to each other, so you can actually build over,
Yeah, and you can.
yeah, and they will just stick together if there's enough structure.
Yeah.
And so, what's next on the calendar for you? Is it the World Series,
It's
or have you got
World
something in
Series,
between?
yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, how are you feeling about that?
I'm a bit scared of the Gibsons.
Yeah, I think that's
I've done 2 of the round ones, and the Peace Cat is very much different from Ravensburger.
Yep.
I've done
Okay.
a lot of Ravensburger, so it's very hard to like change my mind. And I also done, I think, 2 panoramas, and I don't know if I've gotten bad examples, but like the things that stick out is very thin, so I have a lot of ones that's broken, even if it's the first time I'm doing it. So it's kind of hard. And I listened to your video yesterday, Emilia, and I really need to start practice the space limitation for panoramas, because I used to do the edges first, and I realized it's very hard with that kind of space.
Yeah, that was part of my analysis, that if you're one of those edges first people, then you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. So I think I need to do mostly Gibsons.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to do many mystery unboxed ones?
Yes, I did a few before the Swedish Nationals, but I'm not really afraid of that, because I'm not the person who looks at the box a lot, so it's not so much difference. I've always, when I was small growing up, I've always puzzled without the box, and all my relaxation puzzles is always out without the box. So
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually heard that before, especially people who did puzzles like long time ago. They almost find that using the image on the box is like cheating. It's interesting.
Yeah, I used to think that a few years ago.
Yeah, like a casual puzzlers think that that's like, no,
Yeah.
why would you do that? I'm always surprised of it, because it would not be, I feel like it goes against your intuitive. Like if I would be now if I would give somebody random on the street a puzzle, I would just assume that they will use the image automatically. So I'm like, maybe it was kind of like a social norm type of thing, that because people used to do more puzzles probably like, before internet and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
don't know where it comes from, but that's how
yeah,
we do it in our family.
No, it's interesting. I've always had the image there for casual puzzling, but it probably makes a lot of sense to try it without.
Robert, Queen Elizabeth did puzzles without the image. How you did not know that?
My knowledge is clearly not up to it.
And
Oh,
if Emilia's still on this call, she can come to London. She can borrow some mystery puzzles. I have a lot of puzzles, so I can prepare for her if she wants some more. Ystad is not so far from here.
Just to mention to part in the chat. Really glad you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for joining us. Fantastic to have a first competitor from Latvia. Glad you enjoyed it. He's saying that liking the pieces and piece puzzles more and more. So looking to get more practice on brands like that. Yeah, it's like I say, the pieces and piece Bluebird and Hachette. I think they're all from the same factory. All have they're similar but not quite the same. But it's fun to try these different brands, and certainly something I enjoy with these in other online competitions, that ability, that kind of opportunity to try some of the different brands.
Yes, and I really like the box. It looks nice in the shelf.
They do now. I'm really glad. I don't know if you did any of the older ones, but the
I have
boxes
one, in my
used to
room
be
with
they're
very
absolutely
large
huge,
box.
absolutely massive. So
Oh, so they're smaller now. Okay, I don't
Yeah,
have the new ones.
yes.
Cute. All right.
yeah, so they're I don't know, half the size they used to be.
That's nice. I think that seems to be like a trend that no puzzle brand can like afford to stay behind of changing the boxes smaller.
Yeah. But I guess they want them to be as big as possible in the store, so they get like a lot of shelf space.
Yeah, but I would assume that a lot of puzzle brands use the same factory. So I think when couple brands started it, now it's also more available as an like an option that the factories would also kind of like give.
Yeah.
A couple of people with computer problems. Thanks, Christina. I can see your time's coming anyway. So well done. 1 hour and 10. Fantastic. Thanks for joining.
I can just see Robert's head going all the time, like
looking at different things.
yeah.
So many people to got very different screens and different cameras and things to try and keep an eye on.
Do you think we will clear the room today?
I would hope so. What are we on? 1:13, so we've got about 45 minutes left. I think if we don't, we'll be very close. So had a couple more finishes in the last couple of minutes. So Maria, Christina, Lynn Moretta all finished. Got Siv there really close, Carolina really close, Cotta not far behind. So fingers crossed we will have a full house, which is always always fantastic to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where people are finishing because I only saw the first ones and then I lost my track. But it seems like the orange area is actually quite popular, or the sandy area. It's almost either one. I haven't seen anything else so far. I don't think so.
No, I'm interested in. I don't know if we can. Let me just bring up Camilla. He's working very much from top to bottom. So we've got the whole of the top section, the sky, the buildings, the ice rink. You can see the boats done. Some of those kind of blue sections. So really going, very strongly from top to bottom, which I think, first person we've seen seen doing
You
like
can really
that.
see here the lines on
Yeah.
Camilla's puzzle. But like everything fits in lines.
No, really interesting. Caroline is just putting in the last few pieces. Note in the chat from Linretta, just want to use the opportunity to say that the Norwegian Nationals on April the 11th and 12th will be live streamed. So yeah, anyone watching ads, right, Nordias Puzzle Spillforbund. Forgive my pronunciation again. Yeah, on YouTube to watch. So yeah, that's coming up. Yeah, April 11th and 12th. So weekend after next. And Amelia, I believe you're going to that one.
Yeah, I am. I need to buy flights and stuff, but yes, I have registered. Somebody asked me the same this morning, and I said like I'm pretty sure I'm registered. I just haven't bought the flight and hotel yet. And the answer was why I'm not surprised. But yeah, that will be interesting also. And also I would, if I were you, I would really watch the live stream because you will see Kristen. And
Of
we
course.
don't see her enough, especially since she didn't come to the Wilds last time. So
No, that's very true. I don't believe she's going to the World Series either.
I didn't at least see on the list. I was checking it.
No.
So your goal is to beat her?
No, absolutely not.
Maybe beat double of her time?
That's doable. Hopefully. Depends. I feel like nobody knows what's her progress been like since then, because also last year she wasn't in the Norwegian Nationals because she got sick on the day before. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see, because I would say she's also one of those who, from the start that she started, like 2022, I want to say, you have seen like major progress every year. So maybe she does puzzles in 15 minutes these days. Who knows?
No, I mean she's been on a few of the EJJs I've noticed over the last few months, and yeah, always in the top few. So still still very strong. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how she does in those Norwegian Championships.
Yeah, especially kind of like an on-site event, and especially because I think Norway also have an unpublished puzzle for the final, so that's always what I'm interested in, because elsewhere online competition is always a little bit hard, like much more factors that you cannot analyze in the same way as on-site. So very.
Yeah, absolutely.
My problem is that because I'm so much slower, I never actually got to see her puzzle, other than when we go outside in the night, maybe. But
And then Freya, so we talked a bit about kind of having an off season. Is there a kind of a time of the year where you don't speed puzzle at all, or do you take a break after Worlds or during the summer, or do you pretty much keep it up the whole year?
No, I didn't take it. I stayed in Spain for 2 weeks or 1.5 weeks last time. I went to Barcelona, and then I went to Mallorca for a week for a wedding. So then I took some break, but I also did some of the world's puzzles together with my sisters just for fun. So, but no, not really. I really haven't had an off season yet, but maybe this after Worlds this year's. I don't know. It's the Europeans, but I don't know if you can see who has registered for that yet. I know you can register, but I haven't seen a list of participants yet.
No, I don't. Doesn't seem to be a public list of who's registered.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
but right now it's not really a destination I'm eager to visit.
No.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. See both for Worlds and for European Championships what the how many people decide to go.
Yeah, I looked at the Swedish UD, Utrike. Yeah, so they have like a restriction from some parts of Turkey, but I think it's still fine to go to Istanbul. But yeah, things change rapidly now.
They do, they do indeed. They do indeed. Cool.
So I hope everyone finish, and that will clear the room.
Yeah, I hope
Should go
so.
have some dinner.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for staying and chatting, and yeah, congratulations again on a fantastic time.
Yeah, and I see you in Munich.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
can't wait. Very exciting.
Thank you for a great competition tonight.
Cheers, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Okay, yeah, so we've got Elizabeth, Michaela, Cotta all coming into the last, with a similar number of pieces left.
Yeah, not too many. Not too many. Doable. Very doable.
Very doable. So what we got, yeah, still 40 minutes left at this point.
And a lot of things can happen in that time. Trying to still see if there's some different kind of finish that we're seeing, but it really seems like everybody is either the orange or... Didn't I say in the beginning that the orange might be a bit tricky? I can't
We
remember.
did, yeah.
I was thinking about it at least.
Yeah, so a lot of people doing those blue roofs at the start, like you predicted, and then yeah, lots of people. I think yeah, certainly that either that orange section or the kind of tan section. So we've got yeah, Cotta there finishing with the orange, and then Elizabeth Moore with the tan section.
I'm like, are those like I can see some like there's the glass of water next to it is like some candies. Are they like a power candies?
Yeah, I did notice those. I was wondering that. And yeah, when your energy starts to fade a bit near the end, that's
Yeah.
going to keep you going with those last 50 pieces or so.
Actually, a lot of people have a glass of water. Now I'm starting to pay attention.
Myself included.
Mine's empty. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Finnish Championships in a couple of weeks. Is it what's your kind of previous experience of the Finnish? Is it at the same venue as it's been held before?
Yeah, to my knowledge, it's the same venue and like the same area inside that venue. So it's like it's a high school building.
Okay.
So it's not like a arena or like a sport hall like a lot of times other competitions are. I actually don't know what would I call that area that they will put. It almost feels like it. No, it can't be the place where they eat. I'm not actually sure, but it's a little bit different in a way that it's not like perfect rows. It's like we have tables here, then we have tables like there, and a little bit there, at least left.
Okay.
And I don't remember if we have every year had, for example, the same amount of participants, or are they trying to fit more somewhere there? So I think that really depends as well. Yeah, we'll see. It will be a surprise. But I made it to the wait list. My team is in. I'm very happy about it.
Yes, yeah, I noticed that. I think it would have been very harsh not to let the reigning champions join in the teams.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a second. No, but I think it wasn't actually the wait list moving. It was that they managed to get 5 more teams in.
Okay.
something like that. So they increase the amount of how many teams they will take.
Oh,
And
that's
that-
good.
And yeah.
And yeah, unreleased puzzle, I think, again for the individual final.
If you say so, then yes.
I
don't-
think
I
I'm
don't.
right in saying that.
Yeah, if you have seen such an announcement, it must be true. I just don't follow up, so if it wasn't an email sent to us, then I know nothing about anything. Actually, that's the first time we will have an unpublished one.
Okay.
Yeah, we have only have used puzzles on the previous years, so.
Yeah, and so far I think both the Danish one, which I finally got around to doing, on when was it, Sunday I think, and the Swedish one have both been really really good, really fun. I think they made some really good choices there. How did you find the Swedish final one?
I like that one because it was actually awfully kind of like very much easier side of puzzle, but then the little challenge came with the edges and the kind of like the blue background. So I'm actually interested in that if it wouldn't have that kind of blue edge thing, it would have been just a full image, like the illustration would have continued. I think we would have had like crazy like 32 or 34 times, probably even 30, because I feel like, well, I can check this from my live stream, but I remember looking at my own clock when I was just about to just do the edges, which actually took awfully long. And I just saw my time at one point was 34 minutes. Then I just unfortunately spent like 10 minutes for the rest. But yeah, so I think there would have been some like really crazy times if that would be different. But it's always important to have that kind of challenge as well, because it requires a little bit different skill, the edges on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was definitely a mix of skills. So like you say, very very quick up to that point,
Mm-hmm.
and then some interesting shape work to finish it off.
Yeah, definitely. But it was a very very fun puzzle. I'm still here, but I'm just gonna change my device. But I have a special guest for you. Daniel, do you want to come say something for a couple minutes so I can use the bathroom? Daniel is coming.
I guess
Yeah. You can tell your opinion about the beautiful puzzle.
Well, it's a puzzle that looks quite.
Hi Daniel, good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to
How you
meet you.
doing?
I'm a little bit nervous now that I need to take over this commentary. Yeah, but this puzzle looks quite nice. It looks very colorful.
Yeah, some nice colourful sky, some water, and we're not quite sure about the ice rink or whatever it is in the middle, but I think people have had fun with it.
All right. And how did you choose the puzzle? What is the process of choosing such puzzle?
So I mean, it's I tend to go for things that I like. So like they tend to be kind of bright colours, maybe these kind of illustrative rather than we do some photographic ones, but maybe more kind of illustrative. And then it's fun to use. It's fun to use different brands, so not just sticking to to Ravensburger and the kind of maybe the brands that people do all the time, but some of the smaller brands and some of the kind of European brands. So this is a French brand.
Right.
Yeah, so it's fun to look around and try lots of different different brands.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And this clearly shows that you got a great taste for choosing puzzles. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that I tend to hope that people lots of people will like the same would like to do the same things that I do. So
Yeah.
see they seem to be fairly popular.
yeah, I think that that's pretty good. And this is clearly shows that you got a great taste for choosing puzzles. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you ever do any puzzling yourself these days? Is there any space for that at all?
Well, I've done 5 days of intensive puzzling about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then I had one more intensive day last year, and that's my puzzling career.
Because I
Now,
think weren't you in the Swedish Championships last year? If I remember right.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, it was two years ago, was it?
I was preparing for that one. Yeah, that's my last interaction, my last championship that I participated. But
Ah,
I'm too busy with other stuff. I'm doing uh, multiple activities at the same time. So, uh, well, currently I'm studying my master's, so
okay.
that already consumes quite much of my time.
Hmm.
In addition to that, I do quite much of rock climbing,
Okay.
and then I also try to prepare myself for a competition called High Rocks. So
Yeah, my sister does high rocks, so
yeah, yeah,
I know a bit about it. Yeah, yeah.
I really want to participate in that. I feel like I can do it well. But now it's Emilia's turn. I will
The
stop.
funniest thing is that he actually started the Instagram 2 years ago, the Puzzled Moose. And then he put like, if you go see the post, it says day one, day two,
What?
day three. And I think, did you make it all the way to the day 5 or was it just day 3? Yeah, and then like no post after that.
What's it
Uh,
called? Sorry, what's the Instagram account called?
right?
Puzzle Moose.
Yeah,
And
Puzzled
then I,
Moose.
I do have day 6 that I posted after a year.
Which is climbing. Yeah, it has like a blue moose on the turtle. I'm gonna do a switcheroo right now.
Excellent. Well done, Elizabeth. Great you could join us. Thanks for taking over Cameron's place.
This is me.
Excellent. There we go.
You can hear me, see me.
Yeah, we can indeed.
Amazing. All right, one of these drive-along commentaries.
We had a few of those. Had like quite a few outside broadcasts when we've been doing these.
Yeah. Yeah, at least I'm in Finland now.
Yes, yeah. Okay, looks like Michaela really close to finishing. Sally looking good with that whole. Oh, there we go. So Sally, this is first person we've seen with that whole kind of bottom section done, the water, the buildings, all the tan sections, with just the sky to finish off. So certainly the first person we've seen with that strategy, and then Camilla very much the opposite. So all of the top section and just the water and the flowers at the bottom to do.
Yeah, you're definitely responsible now for explaining what's happening. Because they're so small and I'm over. Especially those last pieces. But I really like the layered style that everybody almost followed today, one way or another.
Yes.
Super fun way to do a puzzle. I think Emilia Persson did one puzzle in a way that she literally did it like row by row as a practice.
Yeah, I think she talked about that, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe.
good to know it wasn't just in my head.
We've got an answer for the sweets we saw. So they were cough drops. Unfortunately, she's got bronchitis and was prepared for coughing fits. So sorry to hear that, Elizabeth. Hope you feel better soon. So we are at 1 hour 35 and we have 24 finishers. Really good.
How many do we have left? Sorry.
So we've got 24 finishers. I think we have four people still going at the moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And not too much to go, and we still.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit now.
Oh, I just realized apparently it changed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. Yeah.
Okay, you're in the car speaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Well, it works.
Yeah,
Or do
so
I? Let me actually cancel it. Okay, this works better for me.
there we go. Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah. So how many puzzle rush do we have still like currently on the line? What's coming up? I'm not up to date with that, so maybe you can go it through.
So there's 5 currently in the calendar. So the next one is going to be interesting. That's an unboxed one.
Ooh.
So especially good for people practicing for the World Series. But I think just the fact that the World Series are doing that, I think it's kind of piqued a lot of people's interest. I think a lot of people are really enjoying that. So I can really see that being involved in more competitions
Yeah.
going forward. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if and how the World Series and the way they're doing things changes other competitions as well, whether it has an influence and an impact on on the kind of the format of some of the other competitions going forwards too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What I've actually heard some other comments about it because people seem to also have a preference, and some people saying that it feels like it's directed more at the like super fast speed puzzles, which I kind of have to agree to a point, but also it does have the good thing that if you don't qualify, like you still do all the rounds, so that's also super nice, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it's also going to be very interesting to see because, as said, there is the different challenges, and there has been a lot of talk all these years that, okay, but some people are better with that image and some people are better with that image. Does it actually impact the placements that much? Because now we will actually have data to see how people place on different challenges. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting, and I think it's going to be a topic of conversation afterwards.
Definitely, and I think it's a really interesting point you were making earlier about because it's the total time. It's not just the placement, but someone winning by a few minutes on one particular round could have a
Yeah.
massive impact on their overall placement and on the leaderboard. So that last round is going to be very important it could have a massive impact on the leaderboard.
Yeah, and it is also because it is very interesting because it's so different. It's a not the most common competition brand. It's a panorama. It has more pieces, so there's a lot of factors coming into that last round. And as said, the time differences will be just naturally much bigger. So that can change a lot. Like you can be basically like behind somebody like 2 minutes on every round, and then just be like 12 minutes faster on the last one.
So I'm not sure I've asked you this. So which rounds do you feel kind of most and least confident about, or which are you most looking forward to?
It's interesting because of this format, because usually I would say I don't really like the easier parts, which is usually I would say the detailed puzzle. I don't think the circle shape is going to do that much of a difference. Also, the mystery puzzle, kind of like the unboxed one, might be quite easy as well. I do have a prediction what the image will actually be, but that's something I'm not going to reveal publicly. I'm sorry, that's behind a paywall. Sorry about that. But I think the trickiest one is going to be the repetition. But then once again, I think that is something that is hard for everybody. So
I won't ask you what, but do you have a feeling again for what that might be in terms of an image?
I have pretty good ideas of the images, at least of the styles. And there's a very clear logic also behind my predictions that is probably quite obvious when I explained it in my last speed up session. I think a lot of people were like, that's quite obvious. But I might be wrong. So like my predictions always like you shouldn't trust them too much. But yeah, repetition is going to be I think that's going to be the hardest almost for everyone. And I'm not even sure, like 45 minutes is, well, not 45, 75 minutes. They're going to have probably a lot of counting pieces. Really depends, of course, on the image, but that's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what level they've placed the difficulty at, whether they want pretty much everyone to finish.
Yeah.
Or whether they want the counting pieces to be, to be part of it.
Yeah, I just think like if you have a repetition puzzle, you cannot make it easy because it's automatically hard just because of the repetition. But then on the other hand, I'm pretty calm in a way that I can probably, because when it's harder, once again, the time difference is a little bit bigger. So I think that might actually work on my benefit. That round. And also I think the fun round, because I feel like I do have pretty good endurance, which is required just because it will simply take a longer time. It's almost, actually it is like 25% more in piece count. It may feel like it's not that bad, it's just 600 something, but like it is actually quite a lot of more pieces.
Yeah, and I think you were the only person that in the Swedish Championships for who I think maybe wanted the Sea of Red puzzle to come up and then were happy with it when it did. I think a lot of other people were kind of dreading that possibility and were pretty shocked when it did, but yeah, it was I could tell that you were really really happy that came up and that you kind of got to do it.
Yeah, I was so happy with it because I know harder puzzle, try and error, naturally gonna take a much more longer time, even for the people who are like the fastest ones. So there is also a problem if you're super fast one and you do almost all puzzles in such a shorter time, then you do something hard, you may even realize like your physical side is not enough. Like I remember when I did the peacock puzzle, my feet was hurting. Like literally because I stand so long doing that puzzle and I'm just not used to doing puzzle for that long anymore. So you never know.
No, you never do. So were you standing for the Sea of Red as well?
Actually, with that one, I sat down quite quickly, but it was only because it was a pairs puzzle, so I didn't really need to see. And the greenery part was kind of like on the other side of the puzzle, so I only needed to work on my kind of like half of it. So why I stand is because I want a better angle of seeing all the puzzle pieces and everything.
Yeah.
But with that one, everything was already close to me, what I was working on, and then the pieces that were red. So yeah, with that one, I saw it in the beginning. I was like, there's no point in standing for this one.
No, and I think
Except in the end.
Yes, yeah. I think that's definitely one thing you can say about that one. It's a very nice one to split into between two people.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think that might be also like if you really want to do something fun and you just find those kind of puzzles like dreadful in a way. you may have a little bit of resentment towards your pair who gets to do the fun part, which is like the pathway, and maybe even the green is not actually that easy, but I would assume a lot of people, especially if they're working on the red, just naturally assume that the green is actually easier. So that might come into play a little bit. I mean, obviously we're not
Yeah.
that serious, but it's a thing.
No, definitely. I think it's one of those grass is greener puzzles where I was working on the green section, and it wasn't until I kind of finished that and started working on the red that I realised just how tough it was, and yeah, realised it must have been yeah, really tough for Cameron to be working on on that red section for yeah, an hour and a quarter. It was yeah, it was a tough bit to do.
Yeah, and I remember I think Amelia was also getting like overly polite. She was like, "Oh, like I can do the screen like later. I can help you with the red." And I was like, "No, there's absolutely no point of two people starting with the red because it just, you know, the pieces won't go any faster in. It just needs that we get like 20 pieces in and then it starts flowing. So let's not like waste two people trying to get to that point." But yeah, that is definitely a thing, especially in the teams as well. Sometimes you can be like a little bit, jealous of like I kind of wanted to do that. That was the fun thing. And then we have people who are like very quick to say like, oh, I claimed that area, and some people kind of like want to say, but then they're more like they wait what others will pick first.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Another finisher. Well done, Camilla.
Woo!
And
Amazing.
Sally really close to finishing as well. Just a few pieces left with about 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, still 15 minutes. See the progress going on if I look very, very closely.
I think, yeah, Linda, similar. I think it was, yeah, Sally and Linda both have kind of approached it in a very similar way. So all of that bottom section done, all the way up to the top of the roofs, and just that finishing off with the entire sky section. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
the only two people we've seen to do that.
Yeah, but why not?
No,
And sometimes you
absolutely.
can a sky is sometimes actually really fun to do at last.
Mm.
Especially if it's something colorful. Like you want to kind of like finish strong also on the fun meter.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Don't just be left with
Yeah.
the plain white sections at the end. Do something fun to finish it off.
That's actually interesting. If we have like a relatively fun puzzle, but then it's like really hard towards the end, what is the satisfaction? I'm going full research mode because there is in psychology we call this a pecan rule. So basically, we don't judge our experience as a sum of all parts of it, but we actually most intense mode, which is the peak, obviously, and then the end of it. So I wonder if a puzzle has a harder part to do last, is the satisfaction less for the whole puzzle just because of that? That would actually make scientifically sense. Somebody needs to do research.
And also, is there anything to be said for doing the harder parts first, because that's when that's when your kind of focus is, you got the energy, and then when at the end when you're kind of maybe you've been working on a bit, the easier bit is going to go quicker, or would you say it's the opposite?
I'm against that for the reason, and I hear this often, the energy level thing. But the problem is like, and we're usually talking about kind of like cognitive and physical energy. So let's say if your physical energy and cognitive energy is like this level in the beginning, but usually the hardest parts you cannot utilize a lot of this that you have because just cognitively it's that hard, or the speed wise you cannot go any faster because it's just so hard that it limits you already there. So then you're basically wasting this part of what you had that you could have utilized for the easier parts, because with the easier parts you can actually go speedier, you can do them faster. So that's kind of like my logic in this, and this makes much more sense when I draw it in my Figma board while explaining. But there feels like there's a little bit of like a mismatch. Let's say that you have like a lot of energy when you're running, and then you start off by going like the worst 1 kilometer uphill. Like you can't really go that much faster, even if you have more energy in the beginning, because the uphill is just gonna slow you down so much.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Yeah, this is a little bit harder to explain, but the math is actually mathing in this, and I have tested out also in practice. So
Oh, you have? You've done the.
yeah, I have put people to do the harder parts first for for analyzing purposes, to see if there is a difference on the time that they're able to do that section in comparison if they do it last.
Okay.
And there isn't, but then there is the thing that if they do the easier parts last, they are actually much slower. Well, not much, but they are like significantly slower in comparison if they start with it. So
Oh, that's good to know. I can. That's one little idea I can strike. Oh, brilliant! Well done, Sally. Click the button.
woo,
Fantastic.
amazing.
1 hour 50:42. Fantastic work. Well done. And with
Right on time.
10 minutes to go. Fantastic work. So we have now 26 finishers. No, 27 finishers. Excellent work. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on Linda, just finishing off the last few bits of the buildings and starting to work on that sky. And yeah, we can see the cow in a bathtub puzzle being done next door.
Yeah, there's very good progress there going on. Even
So,
I can see it from here. Tell me.
yeah, no, it looks really good. Yeah, just to say that that sky kind of just starting to move into that kind of a sky section. So yeah, I don't think I finished answering your question earlier about upcoming competitions. So yeah, so we've got the unboxed one. So the one after that at the start of May is the one that we had that was the kind of Swedish national special offer. So that is going to be our biggest event yet. So I think we've got 45 people registered for that one. So that's going to be an exciting one. And yeah, there's still places left for the kind of final 3 of the season. So for the rest of May and June. Yeah, so a couple of those kind of running out spaces now. I think the last one is the midsummer one. There's just a few spaces left. But yeah, it was really good to be at the Swedish Nationals, meet so many people, and yeah, make so many new contacts, get lots of people kind of involved, lots of people interested in the. I was going to mention earlier the competition we have to guess the number of pieces in the number of little puzzle pieces in the jar. So that went down really well. It was interesting to see people's techniques and strategies they used for trying to work out how many there were. So it was yes, 656 I think there were, and yeah, one person was only 6 out. So that was good fun.
Just out of curiosity, were most of the guesses less or more than the actual?
Most were more. So I'd say on average they were roughly kind of between 1,000 and 1,500. So quite a lot more. Almost double I'd say was the average.
Interesting.
But they ranged from kind of 300 to 4,000. So it's a massive range of guesses. But yeah, it was great fun watching people trying to math it out and work out exactly how many there were.
Yeah, I actually never made my guess, but we had some game plan with Cameron, I do remember.
Oh, you did?
trying to
Okay.
kind of like, yeah, we had like we were trying to kind of, or I don't know if he even agreed with me, but whatever. I had a plan to just like think of like 1/4 of it and try to calculate the 1/4 and then just multiply it instead of trying to evaluate the whole thing. And then I had an idea that if the jar is actually some kind of like a standard size, then we can, kind of like Google it.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah, but I never made a guess. I
No,
would have been completely off, I think.
I think people underestimated how there was those kind of big ones in the middle, which took up an awful lot of space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think people kind of a lot of people underestimated just how much space that they were taking up.
Yeah, actually, you should have calculated like how many in the small ones the big one would go into, and then just kind of ignore the big one and just use the number. The math is not mathing here, but I'm just thinking.
I think my favourite maths was the people who worked out where they came from and the kind of the bits that were cut out from the little kind of trophies that from the other Puzzle Rush competitions. So they're trying to work out how many competitions there'd been, so how many of these little puzzle pieces I'd created in making those trophies. So but I'm not sure how accurately that worked out.
Yeah, but I think that's actually a good usually. That's how I used to do my predictions, is kind of like trying to think if there's some kind of importance into something, or the person who is choosing this, is there some significance? Like in a like a movies and TV series, how they try to guess somebody's password and then they get the passcode correctly and the world is saved. Kind of like that kind of logic. It works sometimes in some context, probably not in this one.
No, so that's great. And then there's also a massive amount of interest for the 10-hour marathon, which will be coming later in the year in August in Gothenburg. So yeah, more details hopefully coming very soon on that.
All right. Yeah, the registration didn't start for that one yet.
Not yet,
No.
no. So we've signed the contract for the venue, so it's all and got the date. So we
Ooh.
just need a few more final bits and pieces in place, a bit of work on the website, and we'll be ready to start getting registrations.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I know there's a few coming up. I know there's one in Denmark later on in the year, a few in Germany, but I think it's the first Swedish one. So yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, at least I don't recall hearing about any that type of events in Sweden before.
I saw one in Finland on the Finnish Puzzle Association site, and got excited. But I think it was last year, and it was a kind of 6-hour event last year, which I'd completely missed. So yeah, we'll see if they do another
It was
one.
yeah, I remember that vaguely. I think it was at the same time as in some other puzzle marathon abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Was it even Hanut or something? I think.
Okay, just jump in. 2 minutes left before time is up. So yep, every piece counts. Go go go.
Yeah, I feel like people think that the every piece counts is like a cliche, but it's definitely not. And I think in Sweden, the Paris red puzzle was a great example of a situation it does really matter.
No, absolutely, yeah. So any of those pieces you can join together, they all count. So yeah, maybe again in the World Series, that's gonna where it's actually the time as well. So where you're getting time added for every piece that isn't attached. That's
Yeah, and
gonna be
also like
really important.
yeah, and also if we're circling back to the marathons, that's actually where it does matter. Because if the rule is that they need to connect to something, I think in Hanut the rule is even more stricter. So they don't allow any islands. So they literally have to connect
Okay.
everything that counts. So it also becomes like a very strategic game at the last hour or half an hour, usually even at the hour mark, depending what puzzle you're working on and how far it is. Especially if you're just starting out the last puzzle within the last hour. It's like very specific. You, for example, edge pieces, you must have all the edge pieces because otherwise one row will not count if you're missing like two. So yeah, that is actually interesting for people who are interested in these type of events. There it especially impacts a lot.
Yeah, I know in Trier it came down to 5 or 6 pieces after 10 hours. So yeah, it's very important. Okay, 10 seconds left. The last few pieces. Okay, and that is time up.
Good job.
Good work, Linda. Well done. Fantastic work. Count up those last few pieces. Yeah, it was just that yellow section we've seen so many people finish with.
Yeah, everybody did great today.
Yeah, fantastic work. Just checking I've got everyone else's time. Yeah, a couple of people couldn't make it unfortunately, but yeah, some really good times from everyone today. Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining us again. Another outside broadcast. Thanks for everyone for taking part and for chatting on the YouTube chat.
Thanks for having me. It was a blast as always, and hope to
Very
see
welcome.
joining maybe other ones also.
Absolutely, and yeah, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks in Finland.
Yes, just let me know when you're flying here, so I will know.
Yes, yeah, we'll do. And yeah, we're staying fairly close to the venue, so yeah, very much looking forward to that. Just check with 58 left. Oh, so close. Fantastic. Yeah, we'll have a great evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you next time. And yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, thank
Brilliant.
you.
Cheers.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Good night. Bye.